Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Parham podcast. You can follow me online by going to uh, Twitter. Now it's X, but you can follow me by just typing in Mark Parham underscore, and I should pop up. And then also you can follow me on Rumble by going to Rumble and typing in rumble.com/, Mark Parham, and I should pop up. So, I've been looking at, a lot of people right now have been talking about Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, and they're saying, oh, well, he's changing his tune on, different things and he's, becoming a different person, all this stuff that they say in the media. And one of the things they're talking about, they're saying, oh, well, he's embracing Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. And here's my thing. If Eric Adams or any other Democrat wants to embrace, some of the things Donald Trump is talking about or, embrace the MAGA movement, what's the problem in that? You know, uh, I think right now, and if you look at the election, that's what people want. People want somebody who's going to be tough on crime, who's going to be tough on illegal immigration. And it's the crazy thing about it is a lot of these liberal news organizations, they're looking at it as a bad thing. Like, oh, he's becoming more right wing and he's embracing Donald Trump and all this other stuff. It's like, if you're a Democrat and you decide to change your mind, that's a good thing. I think it would have been nice if he would have done, this in the beginning, but any Democrat that wants to join the movement or, support Donald Trump, I don't see a problem with that. I think that it's a good thing. And I think that New York City will become a better city because of that. We're in a time right now where people are tired of illegal immigrants. They're tired of crime. And especially if you live in New York City, as much money as people are paying with their rent and, different services, you want some safety. Like when you're paying rent to an apartment or you're, just the cost of living in New York City, you want things to be safe. I know I would. So people of New York City deserve some safety. And I think for Eric Adams, he needs to almost ignore the Democrats in New York City and just, you know, keep on using some common sense. One thing Donald Trump, when he was I think during his campaign or something, but I heard him say, we're the party of common sense. And I think, it's right. And so for someone like Eric Adams, he needs to get back to common sense. If you know that, you need police and you need, things to keep a neighborhood safe, then, listen to the people and actually have police in certain communities. I mean, I think, with the Democrats, they said, oh, well, racial profiling and all this other stuff is making the city unsafe and, just a bunch of nonsense. If you know that uh, people from a certain neighborhood are committing crimes, then police, in my opinion, it'd be smart to have police in those areas. But the Democrats made it this whole thing where, oh, well, he's just policing the poor communities and stuff like that. I don't care if it's a rich community. If it's a rich community in New York City or area where rich people are committing crimes, and that's where the police should be. All of this stuff with identity politics and race, it's not helping, the people of New York City. And I think New York City was better under Bloomberg and Giuliani. I mean, those were two guys that knew what they were doing. Giuliani in the 90s when he cleaned up crime. And then you had Bloomberg who was able to, I mean, even though people had some things to say about him, but the city was safe. I mean, you could walk around, you wouldn't have to worry too much. And it's just like now, look what's going on with the subway. People who are trying to get, go into the subway and system in, wait, excuse me, look at what's happening to people who are trying to, ride the subways. Let me say that. They have to worry about their safety. They have to worry about, are they going to get robbed? Is some crazy person going to come up to them? And, that shouldn't be happening. It's bad when folks that are tourists are having to worry about being robbed. Like that's insane. That's, something you expect from one of these, countries somewhere else. But I mean, people come to New York City because they look at it on TV, and then it's like when they come to New York City, they're like, well, man, do I have to worry about being robbed? I mean, that's embarrassing. And there's a lot of different things that New York has to fix. I don't know if Eric Adams is going to be reelected. Probably not, because it looks like the Democrats have turned against him. But what's wrong with wanting safety for your city? And I think one of the things that the next leader of New York City, one of the things that he's going to have to do, if it's a male or female, they're going to have to be proactive. because, there might be storms that are coming up. There, snow removal, all those things. And I think sometimes the Democrats are reactive instead of being proactive. Like, to be a great leader, you have to say to yourself, okay, what problem is going to come on the horizon next? And, you got to think 10 steps ahead. And I think a lot of times with the Democrats, not even just in New York City, but in general, they're always reacting to a situation. Same thing with California. I mean, if you look at California, it's like everybody's reacting. And they didn't listen to Trump when Trump said, fix some things. Make sure, some of the brush is cleared. Make sure that you're, handling this and doing that. And you look at the Democrats in California, just like the Democrats all over the country right now, they're reacting to things. I mean, and that's not a sign of great leadership. When you're a good leader, you're thinking 10 steps ahead. Okay, what about if there's a flood? What happens if there's a wildfire? And Gavin Newsom and the Democrats in California are just as bad as some of the Democrats in New York. But if you look at the situation in California, I was looking at some exchange between Karen Bass and Donald Trump, and basically, he was saying what everybody was thinking. That's one thing I like about Donald Trump. He'll say what everybody's thinking in the room. And he was just telling her, like, we got to speed this thing up. We got to make things happen. Folks in California can't wait to move their lives forward, but you got to let them, come back to their property. You got to let them, fix some things. And I mean, I think Karen Bass said something about, oh, well, they're going to have to wait a week and all this other stuff. And Trump is like, no, that's a little bit too long. Like, these folks want to, get back to their properties or their homes and, make some things happen, fix, whatever needs to be fixed and move forward. But it just goes to show you how the Democrats are just not on their A game. This is around the country right now. I mean, again, it wasn't even this bad, I would say, 20 years ago. Like, if you look at the Democrats 20 years ago, it was nothing compared to what you have now. Like, the Democrat Party 20 or 30 years ago was, pretty decent, in my opinion, as a former Democrat. Now, I don't know how you feel as a Republican, but in the Clinton years, when Bill Clinton was president, the Democrats weren't this bad. Fast forward, it's just like the Democrats are telling you that, oh, well, I don't know what a woman is, and you can be whatever you want, gender you want, and just a lot of just weird stuff. And so, again, I think Trump got elected because a lot of folks want some common sense. Like, no, there's only two genders, and, that is what it is. I mean, the Democrats before, especially someone like Kamala Harris, she was on the campaign trail, and just, I knew her campaign was going to lose. I mean, the stuff she was talking about, and it was just off the wall type of stuff. And so the Democrats really need to get it together. And the Democrats are going to, the Democrats in New York and California, those, states that normally vote for Democrats all the time. I mean, I think that you even saw in this election in 2024 with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. I think that more people in those states are getting closer and closer to vote for Republicans. I think that, even with California, I think that California wouldn't have had this problem if they had someone like Rick Caruso. Rick Caruso ran against Karen Bass, and you got some people like, oh my God, capitalism is bad, and this guy's a billionaire, and he's a horrible person, and all this other stuff. And then look what you have right now. People were so caught up in identity politics and getting the first black female mayor and first, this person and that person, where you end up getting somebody who's incompetent and let the city burn. I mean, when you have firefighters talk about, oh, well, there was no water in the fire hydrants, it's just like, you guys didn't anticipate something like that happening. Like, this fire, not saying that it wouldn't have happened, but there's steps that they could have taken to prevent some of this damage. And so this damage right now is going into, I think one estimate I saw was like $200 billion worth of damage or something like that. And so Karen Bass is just she almost represents a lot of the Democrats in America right now. They're always reacting to a problem instead of saying, how can we prevent things from happening? And so, again, let me know how you feel about Eric Adams. Are you happy that he's doing a complete U-turn on some of his ideas and policies? And also, do you think that Eric Adams embracing some of the stuff Donald Trump is talking about, do you think it'll make New York City safer and a better city? So in the comment section, let me know how you feel. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button, and that's all. Thank you.